What's going on, guys? It's Gendo here, and I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of my Hexagon series. And today there's a lot on our plate, as first and foremost Benfica will be drawing into the third qualifying round of the Europa League. Once we figure out who we're facing right before that first match, we will go over all the transfers in and out that have taken place over this past summer. Then we'll play those two matches, and if we advance, then the final thing we do in this episode will be drawing into the playoff round. So let's get into it. First and foremost, going into the third qualifying round. And Benfica see themselves here in Group 5. Now, I'm not going to go over all the other seeded teams, as we're not going to be facing off against them. We'll take a look down here at the unseeded. So we have Zrinjski and Split Croatia, Lechia or AC Horsens, Chu-chu-chuse or Skonto, and then finally Skodazanthi all by them lonesome. So let's take a look at who we're going to be facing. I totally forgot. Okay, we're either going to be facing Chu-chu-chuse from Serbia or Skonto from Latvia. So when we come back, I didn't expect to see all these still pending matches. So the next time we come back, it will be to find out who we will be facing in the third qualifying round. So, will it be Chu-chu-chuse or will it be Skonto? We'll be right back in just a second. So now we know who we're facing in the third qualifying round, and it will be Chu-chu-chuse, and we will be taking them on away from home first, and then back at the Estadio de Luz for the second leg. So when we come back, transfer time! Alright folks, and it's match day, first leg versus Chu-chu-chuse at Belgrade, of course. But before we get into that, we must go over the transfers that have taken thus far. And right now, nothing is pending, so this is pretty much all that I'm going to be doing for the time being. Taking a look at the outs, there's quite a few people that have gone out, mostly on loan. But let's take a look at some of the ones that I have gotten money for. And starting from the top, Ricardo Vasconcelos. He was a pretty nice attacking mid player, but at the end of the day, I was surplus in that area. I needed to strengthen in the back, more towards the center backs and the center mids. So I had to get rid of him. Also, as a contract dump, he was a little bit more pricey than what Everton have paid for him, or what Everton are paying for him here. So at the end of the day, he was one of the higher paid players, and I just needed to let him go. I was able to get £6.25 million out of him, which is, I think, a good sum of money for him. But the one that I did get the most money out of was Ederson Magila. I sold him to Chievo in the Italian leagues for £8.5 million. Once again, it was a contract dump. He did take a little bit of a pay cut to play at Chievo, because he was getting upwards of £3 million per year from us. And this one hurts to let go, because he is a fairly solid midfielder. But at the end of the day, I just couldn't keep him on if I wanted to get back in the black, and not to be subject to the financial fair play that the UEFA has imposed in recent years. So it's very unfortunate I had to let him go, but I did get a nice chunk of money back from him, which I did use to bring in some other players. But going down the list, lots of loans to Nacional, who are our feeder club. But then you get down here to Paulinho. Paulinho I sold to another Italian club in Verona for £1.3 million. And he was definitely surplus to requirements, because in the formations that I'm going to be using, I'm not going to be using a wingback, much less a true right mid. I may go to a 4-4-2 every now and then. Actually, I'm going to be starting off with a 4-4-2 in this series, but I'm more or less going to be pushing up to a 4-2-3-1 attacking formation. So with that in mind, there was no real need to keep more than one true right mid on my squad. And Paulinho being the worst of the two, I decided to let him go. Yes, he has some good stats. Yes, he did play well in the few matches in the preseason that he did, but ultimately just didn't see him sticking around on the squad. And then finally, the players that I did get money for in return, Vicente Velez. I've been hinting at Vicente Velez leaving the club for a while now. actually, since the last episode. But what really did it is he came up to me saying that he was homesick and he wanted to go back to Spain. And who am I to blame? Who am I to prevent him from wanting to go back home? Plus, he is a 33-year-old player that is in the downswing of his career. Yes, I love his defending stats. However, who's to say that his speed and his physical abilities aren't going to take a sharp decline this season? He may have that one good season left in him, but I'm not going to take the chance on him. So I sold him to Ibar for £825,000, and I think it was a decent deal out of him, especially since what the players that I brought in to replace him with. And then the two that went on freeze were both under 19s and or reserve squad players. Very minimal, didn't really see them breaking into the squad, so it was better just to get them off the book. And now, let's take a look at some of the players that are coming in. The first one, which I think was a great steal, Khaled Benamara, a 20-year-old Frenchman striker that I picked up on a free. And I'm only paying him £250,000 per season for the next 3 seasons. I think this is a great, great purchase, and I can develop him into a great star. Taking a look at his stats, acceleration 16, 17 agility, 18 on pace. This guy is quick, and I'm going to need that, especially if I'm going to be using him in the striker role. Decent mentals, and then his finishing of 18, his long shots 13, 17 dribbling. This guy is excellent. He's an excellent player for his age, and he can only get better. I'm not factoring him into my squad right now. As I've said before, I am full up on strikers, so I'm loaning him out at Nacional to give him a year's worth of first-team football, and then possibly bring him in next season and get him in full-time. We then followed that up with Emerson, coming in from Fluminense. He was my most expensive purchase at £9.25 million. 27-year-old Brazilian, defensive mid, but I'm more or less going to use him in a center mid role. Great physicals, 14 pace, 16 agility, 13 acceleration, great natural fitness, great mentals, and great defensive ability. He's just a great player overall. He is worth every penny of that transfer fee that I spent. 16 technique, 15 tackling, 14 marking. He is going to definitely feature in my first team. Then we have Fabio Paulista coming in from Santos for £6 million. He is a center back, 24-year-old Brazilian, of course. The one thing that he is lacking a little bit is the pace, but definitely makes up for it in his defensive ability. 14 technique, 19 tackling, and a 15 in marking. Great mentals as well. He is more or less going to be a starting center back. We then have Claudio Silva, and this is going to be where I started really pounding in the fact that I needed a center back. He is a 22-year-old Portuguese man coming in for £300,000 per year for the next 3 seasons. He's going to be a backup, but I can see him develop into a pretty solid rotation player. He's got good physicals, good speed, 12 pace and 14 acceleration, great mentals, and already a 16 tackling and a 14 marking for a 22-year-old. Like I said, not fully on the starting 11, but he's definitely a rotation option. Not bad whatsoever. And then finally, Mikel Conceição coming in from Braga for a fee of £1.6 million. 24 years old, also Portuguese. £550,000 salary for the next 3 years. And I bought him mostly because of his pace and his defense. Just take a look at his physicals. 20 in strength, 16 natural fitness, and then look at his pace. 14 there, 16 agility, 16 acceleration, great mentals on the defensive side, and 19 in marking, and a 13 in tackling. He is definitely going to be fighting along with the 3 other center backs for one of the 2 starting center back spots. Hell, I may even switch to a 3-5-2 and have 3 center backs just because of the amount of talent I have on the back line. And that wraps up everything on the transfer window, so let's get into our first match in the Europa League. First leg versus Chu-chu-chuse at Belgrade. They're going to be coming out in a 5-3-2. Could also be a 3-5-2 if the wingbacks play attacking. And we're going to start with a 4-4-2. And I'm going to highlight everybody in the starting 11 that I'm playing today just to show you the stats of who probably most of my starting 11 will be. So we got Jose Moreira coming in net, 31 years old. Not really bad. The only thing it's lacking is on the speed side, but that's okay. Then we have Emerson, which I've shown you, Fabio Paulista, Michael Conceição, and then Raresh Ferrar, the Romanian. That's, I believe, I highlighted in the last episode, but still, it's good to take a look at his stats and show that he is a solid left back. And that's the 4 backs. Now we take a look at the 4 midfielders. Ronald Solis coming in on the right mid side. 32-year-old Colombian, not bad at all. Nuno Correa, 26-year-old center mid. Julio, 28 years old, and starting to fade in training. I may need to work him up to get him back up to speed. And then on the left side, Pedro Gonçalves, not bad for him. And then the 2 strikers up front, I know I've shown you them, both of them, Joaquin Leguiza and Victor Hugo Ramos. I showed you both of them in the last episode. Really great strikers, great attacking, especially Victor Hugo Ramos with a 20 in finishing. Yes, he doesn't have quite the speed as Leguiza, but just that finishing stat can make him a very deadly striker. So let's kick off in the first leg, bag a couple goals hopefully, and then take it back to Estadio da Luz and win it there. Alright, and the team talks went fairly well, and let's kick off this first leg here in Belgrade. Benfica coming out in the red and white, and Chu-chu-chuse in the all whites. And early on, we need to establish some sort of attacking presence. Yes, they do have a technical 5 at the back, but we need to continue putting pressure on their back line and keep taking shots at net, just so we can establish the type of pace for this game. And already, we've had 3 shots on target. Ooh, and Chu-chu-chuse just missing to the right of the post. That was very dangerous there that our defense let him keep running. But so far, relatively even on shots. But after that last flurry, Benfica with 7 to Chu-chu-chuse's 3, but only 1 on target for either side. So both teams looking to try and to find a little better aim. We need to adjust the sights. But we have Solis coming up the right, up until a dispossessed by a Chu-chu-chuse player. And now they're coming. Great end-to-end play for both teams. But defensively, we spilled it. Moreira spills it. Defensively, needs it. What are you doing? Good clearance, though. Defensive line looking very perplexed as to what to do in that situation. But fortunately, it did not lead to a goal. I've seen many times where that would be a very cheeky, short-angled shot, which would lead to a goal. But we go into halftime 0-0, and I'm definitely far from pleased with what I'm seeing with this team. Strikers, you need to do something a lot better than what you're doing right now. Defensively, you're holding up. But the strikers, what are you doing? You need to find the net a little better. Tell the boys to push forward. We start out this second 45 with the ball. And we do get a early corner. Solis whipping it in. And Conceição, Michael Conceição, with his first goal for the club just 7 days after he signs with the club, getting us on the board just 3 minutes into this half. Benfica up 1-0, and that is a crucial away goal. And 2 minutes later, here we come again. Victor Hugo Ramos, what a shot! Curler could have gone into the top right corner, but instead hits the crossbar. Very unlucky. Alright, I'm going to make my first sub. We are going to bring on Octavio Silveira in for Julio, who's looking a little knackered. We'll let that go for now. Leguiza has not been having a good day up front. I may sub him off next. Actually, I may sub him off very shortly, as he's also knackered. 19 minutes left to go, and I'm going to bring on... Well, he is coming off of injury, but we'll bring him on anyway. Francisco Rodriguez in for Leguiza. And we just need to tighten up for the last 18 minutes or so and hold on to this 1-0 lead. So far, everyone doing well, I guess. One of their players going out injured. Less than 10 minutes to go. Time is just flying by. We're going to bring on Romain Costa in for Fabio Paulista, and that will be our last sub. With just 8 minutes and stoppage time left to go. Benfica have been doing very well on the defensive side, not allowing Chu-chu-chuse to get a lot of shots on target. 4 minutes of stoppage time, but they've all come and gone. As time winds out, it's going to come out full time, 1-0 to Benfica away from home, and that's an all-important away goal as we go back home to Estadio de Luz. It's a bit of a let-off, though, since against a team like this, we should be winning very easily. 16 shots, only 4 of them on target. That's very unfortunate. We should be having at least 50% of the shots on target in that situation. But in the end, we got the win. All-important win away from home. So let's go back home, second leg, and trying to get the job done. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alright, and here we go for the second leg of this third qualifying round. Benfica taking on Chu-chu-chuse at the Estadio da Luz in Lisbon. Only 2/3 of the stadium are full up for this, as 40,000 people coming in out of a possible 65. No matter, they're going to get a good treat tonight. As you saw Chu-chu-chuse coming out with a 4-5-1. We're staying with 4-4-2 for now, with a few changes, mostly on the back line. Arthur Felix is coming in, taking in the net duties today instead of Jose Moreira. And then Ravish Ferrar is moving inside as a center back, and Palau is going to be taking over duties on the left wing. Obviously, the person that would be coming out for that is Fabio Paulista, but he's definitely going to be coming on as a sub, more than likely. Asmar is back in the roster full-time now that he's back off of injury, and same with Francisco Rodriguez. So let's kick off, let's hold on to this lead, maybe grab a couple more goals, and put this to bed, and move on to the playoff round. Team talks went very well, and let's kick off for the second 90. Benfica, of course, being in the red, and Chu-chu-chuse in the white once again. Ooh, and Chu-chu-chuse getting themselves on the board within the first 5 minutes. It's 1-1. It's 1-1 on aggregate, and that's definitely not good for the morale of the team. Let me encourage them. Say it's just 1 goal, and it's early. We can get it back. And here comes Ravish Ferrar with a deep throw-in to Ramos, who gets out to Gonçalves, and Gonçalves, oh, just over the top. Actually, it was clipped by the goalkeeper. We get another corner, and that just gets thrown way out into the crowd. Definitely not the start here at home that I would have liked, as we go into halftime all knotted up at 1, and I'm definitely not happy with what I'm seeing. Team needs to go out there and get us a goal. We need to come away with a victory here. Just tell everyone, just push forward. So just a nice little push forward, be a little bit more attacking than you have been. We've had 13 shots, 6 of them on target. Chu-chu-chuse, 2 shots, 2 on target, 1 goal already. And already it's not looking good. Ooh, just wide. Now we have a free kick just 1 minute apart, out to the right to Emerson. Inside the penalty box to Leguizi, who finds Ramos, and it's pinballing around. Cannot break through the defensive line. This is just a comedy of errors right now, as we've been trying very, very hard to break through the Chu-chu-chuse defensive line, and it just has not happened. It's really unfortunate. And with Conceição now coming out with an injury, or not coming out with an injury, but he will be very soon. Laerte is going to come in for you. Ferrar is going to move back out onto the left, and Fabio Paulista is coming in for Palau, just because they need a little bit more of a defensive presence. And since Ravish Ferrar is better on the left wing instead of there in the center, might as well do that. Ravish Ferrar getting the throw in with just 14 minutes left, and Laerte, the super sub, coming on and knotting the match up at 1 apiece in the 77th minute, but on aggregate, it's 2-1, And now we need to close this down. The Chu-chu-chuse getting themselves a free kick. Good save by Arthur Felix. Ball comes in. Once again, it's on the line. Oh, no. Paulista with an own goal. And Chu-chu-chuse now have taken a hold of this tie, and they will be moving on if things stay up like this due to the away goals. We have just 11 minutes to push everybody forward. And in fact, that may be exactly what I'll do. Just push everybody up and be super attacking. Just get people up front. Just get a goal. 6 minutes left to go in this match. We have it. Victor Hugo Ramos throws it into the center. But it's taken away by Chu-chu-chuse. They throw it back over the timeline. Lots of passing around the center. Correa finds Ramos. Ramos taking the shot. He should have passed it off. But we do get a throw in. Raresh Ferrar throwing it in deep. We do have a chance. With all these attacking chances. Solis in, two, off the post. That was probably into Ramos, but it goes off the post, and we still have 5 minutes left to go. Ferrar once again throwing it in. Long throw into the box. That's taken by a Chu-chu-chuse defender, and that's going to end that. 3 minutes of stoppage time on the clock. We still have time. There is still time left on the clock. We could mount one final attack. Solis into Julio. Oh, he does a horrible pass. Now you need to tackle him, dude. Don't just let him run. Chu-chu-chuse now just going to hold the ball up. There's still 2 minutes left on this clock. We still could get some sort of attack here, but Chu-chu-chuse, you're doing everything. Oh, Jesus. And that's going to be the game. That's going to be the tie. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable that we let this one slip away. We had it in our grasp. 28 shots, 9 of them on target. Chu-chu-chuse 8 and 6, and they score 3 goals. Not the way I would have liked to start in my tenure here at Benfica, crashing out of the Europa League to a team that, quite honestly, we should be beating. And the stats say we should be beating every day of the year. And only to go out like this. Absolutely disappointing. Yeah, super mad. I should be in a playoff round right now. I should absolutely be in a playoff round. But the team let themselves down with that performance. So when we come back, I don't know, it'll be a few matches into the season, I'll tell you that. I'm not going to come back directly before the start of that. Maybe it'll be right around here, right around the Taça de Portugal, the Portuguese Cup. So when we come back, it'll be a double live comm of the Portuguese Cup and Gil Vicente. So until that time, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Comments, suggestions, questions, anything else, please leave in the comment box below. As always, this is Gendo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.